All right, if you follow my channel, you've seen this dummy quite a lot. It's in a number of my videos. In fact, it's in most of them. This is a typical Filipino martial arts dummy. It's nothing more than a couple of tires that I scrounged from when I replaced the tires on my truck several years ago, a bit of rope, and an old stick stuck through a hole in the tire so that I can use it like an arm. The arm is there so that we can practice grabbing limbs, pushing our opponent away. It gives us something to parry and strike into. It's a really useful tool. But what if you don't live in a place where you have space for something like this? Suppose you're an apartment dweller, you're in a big city, you've got roommates, you just don't have the place to do this. But you still need to get in solo practice. You still need to figure out all the corners and angles of your body and just how far you need to go to actually block incoming strikes and practice all sorts of things. So how do you do it? Well, I've got an answer for you. So stay tuned for just a couple of minutes and we will change location and we'll get right on it. You'll have to pardon Sully Dog. You know him. If you've seen any of my other videos, he's always got to make an appearance. All right, so this is a super cheap microphone stand. Literally 20 bucks off of Amazon. It looks like it's perfect for our purposes. We've got the hand, the thing to hold the stick. It's flexible and it's got a clamp that allows us to put it anywhere. So I think this is the perfect item for this. Let's go ahead and unbox this and see what we got. All right, first off, I gotta say, this makes me really happy. I was expecting this clamp to be really cheap, probably plastic, considering how inexpensive this was. Well, it turns out that this is actually really nice. It's metal, and it's got some rubber padding inside of it, and yeah, good deal. The plastic here is quite solid. Does not feel like a bit of garbage, so I think it'll hold up. We've got the flexible metal bendy bit that again seems very solid. I'm very happy with the quality of the material. There is, there we go. Nice little brass, not plastic connector. Again, good quality stuff. So let's look at how we're gonna put this thing together. Well, this obviously screws into here. Excellent. Oh, and it's nice and stiff too. Yeah, I know. Go ahead and say it. That's what she said. So, get this nice and solid. That's going to be the skeleton of our arm. Pool noodle. Now, this one's kind of weird. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work out, but for our purposes, it will do fine. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the length of our apparatus here, and we're going to add, because this screws on the end, we're going to add just a little bit more. So take a sharp knife and get to dissecting. Now, one of the things that caught my eye about this particular bizarre pool noodle, because I mean, however, what I like about it is it's got a very small hole. So we'll take this and we thread it through. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Now I'm actually going to flip this around so that the not so very neat cut end is shoved all the way down at the bottom there. The other advantage of doing this, as I sit here and think about it out of pool noodles, is this is easily replaceable. So if you want to do live blade practice, you can actually get some real cuts in off of this. So then we take our microphone holder. Let's kind of compress that so that we can, I think, not exactly sure how this is supposed to go on here. I was sitting on a toilet when this idea came to me, because I had recently seen a video showing somebody using a bike stand to hold a longsword, and it reminded me of microphone stands. And then I remembered gooseneck microphone stands, and one thing led to another, and this idea came about. So finally, we screw this on here. There we go. There is our training arm. Now, what I think is going to need to happen is I'm going to have to bulk the base of the stick up with a little bit of duct tape so that it is held right. And see here, we can change this angle of the angle that the stick is approaching us at. And there's a little Phillips head screwdriver here. And we can go all the way straight if we're blocking a thrust. Oops. Yeah, I think this is going to work out rather well. Look at that. We can go here, here, all the various directions of which a stick is going to come in at us. We have the arm. This is going to be a good thing. All right, so one of the first things I'm going to do with this, we're going to cover this in duct tape, because duct tape makes everything better. There we go. And because I don't like this green here kind of sticking out, we're going to dress this part up here a little bit. Take a couple pieces of duct tape, lay them like so. We just want to make sure that we have enough room in here. We don't want it too tight because we want to be able to change that angle. I really personally believe that martial arts training shouldn't be that expensive. And anytime you can come up with a DIY solution like this that allows you to effectively train and do things without it costing you an arm and a leg, it's better off. I mean, martial arts should be for everybody, not just for people that have the money for super expensive training tools. And one of the things to think about with this is, remember, the Filipinos, incredibly adaptive and incredibly creative culture. It's why we have training dummies made out of tires. It's why we use a stick to represent all sorts of things, because, you know, they didn't have really cool aluminum swords or, you know, high impact polymer swords to be able to practice with. So they used rattan, a thing they've got laying around all over the place. How awesome is that? So the next thing we're going to do is, after I finish this right here, is we're going to bulk up the grip, or, you know, a section of that stick, so that it is easily held by the mic. I mean, if your rattan is thick enough, it's not an issue, but this is just a piece I had from my my stock of rattan, and you know, it's a little thinner. I generally prefer thicker sticks. That's why it's still kicking around. So that part's done. Let's see here. Every stick has a top and a bottom. Yeah, it feels about right. So I'm gonna leave our little friend here a little bit of a puño. So we're gonna build up this section right here with some duct tape to make enough of a friction fit into that mic holder. Because we want it to be secure. You know, I wonder, as I'm sitting here doing this, with a little bit of work, with like a file or something, you could probably make it so it holds the stick well enough that you can practice your blocks and your parries and your counters and all that stuff. But you might be able to make it so that you can actually perform strips on it. I don't know. We're learning together. This is the first time I've ever built something like this, so let's see how it goes. And actually, as I am looking at the other end by the clamp, let's see here, might not be a bad idea to put a couple of strips of duct tape over the clamp side so that it doesn't slide crazy all over the place. Man, this clamp is big enough that if you wanted to, you could just clamp it onto a 2x4 stuck in some dirt in your yard somewhere. I think that'd be pretty cool. Or like if you got like a Japanese makiwara post or something like that, you know, clamp this on there, dual purpose. This is probably good. And let's give it a little bit more. I want it to be snug. Snug like a bug in a rug. Doodly doodly doo. Yeah, I know. You do anything like this long enough and madness takes over. Because wrapping duct tape around something is boring. All right. That's probably good. So, arm, stick, duct tape. Shove that in there. Oh, yeah. Look at that. How awesome is that? I think I need to grab a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten that up a little bit. but that looks about right there, doesn't it? All right, give me a few minutes. I'll be back. And now we can see it in place. It's just clamped onto the edge of the door here. And you can really clamp this onto anything you needed to clamp it on. You know, whatever works for you. It's just, this was the appropriate one in my living room right here. So now, see, it's set to, you know, right at shoulder height about. It's just like somebody was swinging at angle 1 at my head. All right, and what I think is really cool about this is that we can change the stick out to, we could probably put a knife in there and we can practice some of that stuff. But the idea behind this is not that we're going to be blasting it and trying to do anything, you know, super hard on it. But it's great for if you want to practice things like parry, strike, pass, parry, strike. All those sorts of things you can do with this. Look, it's got motion. It goes up and down. It's, I'd call this a success. So for about 25 bucks, I'll give in total in about 10 minutes on Amazon, we got a really cool tool here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go grab a training knife and see how that works. Be right back. All right, sweet. Yeah, it holds a training knife with no modification whatsoever because I've got the handle on it thick enough. This is great. I mean, this kind of practice is invaluable. It's perfect. Look, disarm. How awesome is that? So, hope this gives you some ideas, inspires you to make some training tools of your own. I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. And if I do eventually break it, not out that much money. Have a good one.